And in the first fight on the prelims, we got a very, very good fight. A striker and a very, very good wrestler right here. We got Spohn and Marthin Hamlet Nielsen. Marthin Hamlet Nielsen is obviously, in my opinion, going to be the wrestler or grappler in the fight. Has very, very good wrestling. Gets you down very, very easily. A lot of his wins are finishes. Only 2 fights going all the way. 2 knockout wins, 2 submission wins, and 2 decision wins. His only loss to Modestas Bukauskas, and I watched the entire fight with Modestas Bukauskas. He did end up losing the fight by 4th round knockout, but he put up a really, really good fight and arguably won the 1st and 3rd round in that fight, using a lot of really good wrestling, closing the distance, getting him to the clinch, and getting a double leg takedown, and getting Modestas Bukauskas to the ground, ground and pounding, and going for some submission. So he did a really good job fighting Modestas Bukauskas. Yeah, he did end up getting knocked out in the 4th round, but put up a very, very good wrestling and grappling show against a very, very good striker in Modestas Bukauskas, who's a very long, lengthy striker in the light heavyweight and middleweight division. You got Spohn, who's also a very tall, lengthy fighter in the light heavyweight division. He is also 36 and a half years old, the favorite in the fight, very, very slight favorite at that, at minus 125, 18 wins and 7 losses, very tall, very lengthy as well. The tabloid predictions mainly going for Spohn to win the fight, mainly by knockout and mainly by decision. He has a lot of knockouts on his record, and then a lot of decisions. Not many submissions, but 8 knockout wins, 5 submission wins, and 7 decision wins. A lot of power in his hands. He tends, let's see right here, he tends to kind of, because he is a left-handed fighter, he goes like this and puts out that right hook and then goes for a straight jab, or for a straight left hand. I mean, he's so powerful with that straight left hand. You see right here, very, very good right hook to straight left, and he has a really good uppercut jab. He goes like this, he goes for the straight left hand, and then every now and then he kind of uses that uppercut to get your guard up here like that, so he can land a nice body shot with his left hand, which is a really good technique he uses in most of his fights inside the PFL and outside of the PFL. He also has really good clinch, really good knees in the clinch, which is definitely going to be a really good thing to have against a guy like Marthin Hamlet Nielsen, who's going to try to get the fight in the clinch as soon as possible. So Spohn could kind of eliminate that wrestling factor a little bit with some knees in the clinch to the body, and if he goes for the takedown, try to get a knee to the jaw or to the head of Marthin Hamlet Nielsen to kind of diminish the takedowns or diminish the neediness of Marthin Hamlet Nielsen to actually go for the takedowns if he's worrying about getting hit in the face by a knee straight down the middle from Spohn. But he's very susceptible to leg kicks. He keeps his legs out very far apart, which is very, very susceptible to getting kicked. Like, I mean, every single time I saw his last fight, his whole calf was so red. I mean, that is definitely going to be a good weakness for Marthin Hamlet Nielsen to kind of capitalize on, because Spohn is mainly a striker. So in the striking game, if I were Marthin Hamlet Nielsen, I would definitely start chopping those legs, because if you start chopping those legs, it's going to kind of diminish the movement and make it a little bit harder for him to land these shots that he's used to landing inside of the PFL in most of his fights right there. Let's see, a disadvantage is when he breaks from the clinch, he keeps his hands low. I don't know why he does this. Every single time he leaves the clinch, which there's going to be a lot of clinch situations in the fight, Marthin Hamlet Nielsen, if he leaves the clinch, immediately after that happens, he's going to be looking for a straight right hand down the middle, because every single time Spohn, for some reason, leaves his hands right here, which leaves a wide opening for Marthin Hamlet Nielsen to land a big right hand, potentially landing a good shot, dazing him, or whatever the case may be, and then getting a takedown. So that is definitely a disadvantage that I don't know if Spohn has really gotten better at over the years. He's probably gotten a little bit worse at that over the years have gone on, but it is going to make it a lot easier for Marthin Hamlet Nielsen to land a little bit more shots after they kind of get out of the clinch situations. Very good takedown defense, just not enough takedown defense in my opinion to defend the takedowns from Marthin Hamlet Nielsen. He's just a really, really good wrestler, very relentless with how many takedowns he goes for over and over and over again. With Modestas Bukauskas, I believe he got 4 or 5 takedowns on Modestas Bukauskas. He just keeps on going. If he doesn't get the takedown, he's going to get right in the clinch and just hold you there until he finds an opening to get you down. He has some decent grappling. Again, not going to have the grappling or wrestling advantage over Marthin Hamlet Nielsen in the fight. And then Marthin Hamlet Nielsen is obviously going to be the wrestler in the fight. I've been talking about this whole entire video. Obviously, very, very good wrestling. He does a very good job of getting the takedown. He kind of puts up the jab and then goes down for a double leg. If he doesn't get it, he kind of stays in the clinch for a little bit and he just waits for that opportunity. It lands a couple of jabs and then goes for the double leg. He doesn't really go for any single legs, mainly just double legs off the clinch or just double legs right in the middle of the cage. After his opponent goes for a right hand and kind of overcommits mix himself a little bit. He goes for that double leg in the middle of the cage. Pretty good ground and pound, mainly just snappy elbows on the ground. He doesn't really like to wind up like this because it makes it a little bit easier for his opponent to get right back up on the feet, and that's not a good thing for you like Marthin Hamlet Nielsen, who's gonna want to kind of control you the whole entire time, and it's a good thing for him to use those elbows, those really short elbows kind of like that, to make it easier for him not to be able to get the fight right back up on the feet, for him to just keep on landing damage on his opponent without really having that issue of if the fight is going to be back up on the feet, because it's going to be a lot easier if he's going like this for them to get back up on the feet, because you're not really having that control with your other hand when he's doing those ground and pound shots. But in his striking, he doesn't really have the best striking. I'm obviously going to have Dan Spohn in the striking advantage. He usually only uses his striking to kind of set up his takedowns. That's pretty much the only thing he really does. Once he gets in the clinch, goes for the double leg, not really the single leg, puts him on the cage, and then gets him down. That's just what he does every single time. Marthin, his main way of winning the fight, obviously, keep the fight on the feet. Make it a lengthy, kind of a ranged fight, because he's going to have that height and reach advantage in the fight, 3 inches taller, and I believe he's going to have like a 2 or 3 inch reach advantage over Marthin Hamlet Nielsen in the fight. So a lot of advantages in the striking game for Dan Spohn, but Marthin Hamlet Nielsen is probably going to do really, really good in the clinch, and really, really good with his ground and pound, with those elbows in the ground and pound game in this fight. I think Spohn right here is going to defend every single one of the takedowns. Just kidding. No way he's going to defend every single one of the takedowns. You see that one fight, I encourage you, look up the fight with Modestas Bukauskas and Marthin Hamlet Nielsen. I mean, he literally only defended like 25% of the takedowns. Marthin Hamlet Nielsen just kept on going over and over and over again for takedown after takedown after takedown. It's going to be so hard for Spohn to defend all these takedowns right here. He has some pretty decent takedown defense, pretty good submission defense, everything like that. But if Marthin Hamlet Nielsen gets you down, he's going to control you, he's going to ground and pound you, and he's probably going to dominate and get a decision or a TKO win. I think Spohn, his main way of winning, obviously, is keep the fight on the feet and get a knockout with a nice straight left hand, or one of these check right hooks. But those are the only real things I really see Dan Spohn doing good at in the fight. But with those left hands, I mean, he does have a lot of good straight left hands. But if he does find himself in the clinch with Marthin Hamlet Nielsen, I'm gonna say it right now, it's gonna be kind of over for Dan Spohn. Even though he is the favorite in the fight, most people are saying that. Most people are giving him the win in the fight, mainly because he does have a lot of power in his hands, a very, very good straight left hand. Very possibly gets a knockout here on Marthin Hamlet Nielsen and controls the fight on the feet and defends the takedowns. But with how relentless Marthin Hamlet Nielsen is, with going for takedown after takedown after takedown, I'm sorry, I'm going with the underdog here. I'm going with Marthin Hamlet Nielsen to go out there, get a takedown, get the fight in the clinch, and get the fight down as soon as possible. Ground and pound with those short, snappy elbows, and just control the fight for 3 straight rounds, in my opinion. This should be a really, really good fight. I'm curious to see how well Dan Spohn does in the clinch, if he can get out of those clinch situations, because if he can get out of those clinch situations, it'll kind of reduce the factors of Marthin Hamlet Nielsen to be able to get the takedowns. But overall, I think Marthin Hamlet Nielsen will get a couple of takedowns, probably 4 takedowns in this entire fight, and win the fight by 30-27 unanimous decision.